Why the richest people you've never heard of stay that way on purpose. There's a photograph that doesn't exist in any museum. No archive. It was taken in 1933, inside a private club in Manhattan, just a few blocks from Wall Street. The men in that photograph are wearing tailored suits that cost more than a Ford assembly line worker made in an entire year. They're relaxed. They're laughing. Cigars in hand. And every single one of them had just survived the crash of 1929 with their fortunes intact, while 13 million Americans stood in breadlines. You won't find their names in history books. That wasn't an oversight. That was the design. Because those men understood something most people still don't understand today. Visibility is a liability. Wealth that can be seen can be taken. Wealth that hides, endures. And this video is really about how the American economy was redesigned to make you visible, loud, and constantly chasing, while a small group of families quietly learned to do the opposite. What I call the ghost strategy. A modern parallel. Let me bring this forward to something more modern. It's 2008. Lehman Brothers has just collapsed. The news is running non-stop. People are watching retirement accounts evaporate in real time. A man walks into a Starbucks in Palo Alto on a Tuesday morning. He's wearing a plain t-shirt and jeans. No logos. No luxury signals. He parked his 10-year-old Honda Civic 2 blocks away because he didn't feel like paying for parking. He orders a black coffee. No customization. No oat milk. Nothing memorable. The barista doesn't look twice. Why would she? That man is worth roughly $400 million. He owns a software company that was just acquired, but almost nobody knows. Not his neighbors. Not the parents at his kid's school. Not even most of his extended family. The deal ran through multiple holding companies, layered trusts, and a foundation that doesn't carry his name. The press release listed a CEO, someone he hired specifically to be the public face. Our invisible man took the money, placed it somewhere quiet, and went right back to his life. Because he understood an old rule. A rule America forgot somewhere between the invention of the credit card and the rise of social media. Poor people want to look rich. Rich people want to look poor. And the truly wealthy want to look like they don't exist at all. This used to be common knowledge. Here's the uncomfortable part. That rule used to be common knowledge. Your great-grandfather didn't need a book or a podcast to understand it. If he lived through the Great Depression, he learned it by watching. He saw what happened to the men who flaunted their wealth. The big houses were foreclosed. The fancy cars were repossessed. The loud millionaires became very quiet, very fast. Some disappeared socially. Some disappeared entirely. The people who survived, the ones who came out of the 1930s even wealthier, learned to be invisible long before the crash ever came. They learned it from their fathers, who learned it from their fathers, going all the way back to merchant families in Europe who understood a brutal truth. A king who knows you're wealthy is a king who can tax you, draft you, or kill you. Silence wasn't humility. It was survival. When the script changed somewhere along the way, we lost that script. We started celebrating visibility. We started worshipping mansions, yachts, and watches that cost more than houses. We started believing the purpose of money was to be seen having money. And that reversal of ancient wisdom didn't happen by accident. Let me take you to a specific moment. Detroit. The American auto industry is booming. Factories are running around the clock. The middle class is expanding at a pace never seen before. An economist named Victor Lebeau writes something in the Journal of Retailing that still feels unsettling today. He argues that the American economy must turn consumption into a way of life, that buying and using goods should become ritualistic, emotional, even spiritual. He says we need things burned up, replaced, and discarded at an ever-accelerating rate. That wasn't a warning. That was a blueprint. From that moment on, the system required you to never feel satisfied, because satisfaction breaks the machine. Comparison as an economic engine. Television finished the job. For the first time in history, a factory worker in Ohio could sit in his living room and see exactly how a wealthy family in California lived. Not just the house, the furniture, the clothes, the car and the driveway. And then came advertising, repeating the same message over and over. You deserve this. You should have this. This is what success looks like. Cars became status ladders. Houses became displays. Neighborhoods became comparison traps. Credit cards removed the waiting period that saving once forced. Now you could look successful immediately and worry about paying later. By the time the pain arrived, you were already emotionally invested. The families WHO didn't play. Meanwhile, the families with real wealth weren't playing this game at all. Let me tell you about one. They own industrial supply businesses across the Midwest. Unsexy companies. Essential ones. The grandfather started it in 1946 with money saved during the war. By the 1980s, the family was worth about $60 million. Today, they're worth close to $800 million. Nobody knows their name. The patriarch lives in a normal house. Drives a used Lexus. His kids went to public school. What you don't see is the family office. The trusts. The foundations. The real estate spread quietly across multiple states. From the outside, they look comfortable. That's not accidental. That's armor. Rich versus wealthy. Here's the distinction most people never make. Rich is income. Wealthy is assets. Rich is visible. Wealthy is invisible. Rich buys things that look impressive. Wealthy buys things that quietly produce. And the most protected asset wealthy families have is obscurity. If nobody knows you're wealthy, nobody envies you. If nobody envies you, nobody targets you. That's freedom. Optionality is the real prize. Wealth isn't about things. It's about optionality. Choices. A trust is optionality. A yacht is a liability. That's why generational wealth looks boring from the outside: farmland, warehouses, water rights, infrastructure. Quiet assets. Owned quietly. The gap that builds wealth. This isn't deprivation. It's allocation. Can you drive the used car while others lease? Can you live smaller while others upgrade? Can you let people underestimate you? Because the gap between what you earn and what you spend, that gap is where wealth is built. The system tries to close that gap. The ghost protects it. The finish line. Becoming a ghost isn't just financial. It's philosophical. It's choosing freedom over applause. Time over toys. The finish line isn't the car. It isn't the house. It isn't the watch. The finish line is when your family never has to worry about money again, and nobody outside your family knows. Fortresses are built in silence. And ghosts, by definition, can't be touched. Learn more about ghosting your wealth and lifestyles. Subscribe and you will be the first to know. Bonus section: because you got this far, we now focus and make it relevant as we bring this financial philosophy into today, January 2026. In that quiet existence, this family understood that wealth thrives in shadows, nurtured by the simple art of discretion. Their children grew up entwined with the lessons of prudent living, learning that perceptions often hold more power than possessions. As they navigated through a world eager to flaunt its riches, they held firmly to their identity as keepers of quiet wealth, anchored by values that transcended mere appearances. They became adept at skipping the spotlight, finding joy in life's understated pleasures and relishing the freedom it afforded them. For them, true luxury was the ability to remain unseen, escaping the relentless chase for approval and validation. In this way, they cultivated a resilience that shielded them from societal pressures, ensuring that their pursuits remained genuine and aligned with their core principles. Steadily, they formed deeper connections with their community, sharing moments that mattered while eschewing ostentatious displays of success. Their gatherings revolved around shared laughter, long walks in nature, and heartfelt conversations, cementing bonds that were nourished by authenticity rather than wealth. Ultimately, their legacy wasn't defined by what could be shown, but rather by what could be felt, the subtle but profound impact of living in accordance with their values in a world often captivated by the glimmer of superficial wealth. In this modern age, the ideals of wealth have become so distorted, where external validation overshadows intrinsic value. People carry designer bags and flaunt flashy cars, believing these symbols define their success. Yet beneath the surface, a growing number of individuals are beginning to question this narrative. They are opting for a life less cluttered with materialism, focusing instead on the richness of experiences and genuine connections. This subtle shift whispers a profound truth. Enduring wealth rests not in the visible, but in the intimate, quiet moments that foster a sense of belonging and purpose. Embracing simplicity may just be the ultimate counterculture in a world that prizes excess, encouraging a resurgence of values rooted deeply in authenticity rather than facade. Through this realization, the journey towards true wealth becomes less about accumulation and more about cultivating a lifestyle that champions peace, fulfillment, and silence over noise. In a world relentlessly focused on the external trappings of affluence, this family's approach to wealth felt refreshingly countercultural. They recognized that the true bounty of life lay not in what glittered under bright lights but in the warmth of family bonds, friendships, and shared experiences. Each decision they made was imbued with intention, reflecting their unwavering commitment to harmony over haste, depth over display. They chose the roads less traveled, unmarked by societal expectations, unraveling layers of fulfillment that others scarcely glimpsed. Their sanctuary became a space where laughter echoed through simple gatherings, stories of resilience were shared, and aspirations rooted in authenticity bloomed. Through every act of dedication to their values, they fortified not just their wealth but the legacy they would leave behind, lessons of depth, courage, and the quiet power of being. In this burgeoning movement, people are rediscovering the beauty of anonymity and the strength of humility. They reject the pressures to showcase their success, finding comfort in the knowledge that true richness is often concealed from public view. Through conscious choices, they seek a lifestyle that prioritizes sustainable fulfillment over fleeting appearances. Dinner tables filled with laughter and connection replace extravagant parties. Adventures in nature supersede lavish vacations. This shift in mindset is not merely a trend but a profound transformation driven by a desire for meaning over materialism. As more individuals embrace this journey, they create a tapestry of lives that celebrate the wealth of the human experience, reinforcing the idea that significance is found in the subtleties of life rather than extravagant displays. In a society yearning for authenticity, their quiet strength becomes a source of inspiration for others to follow suit, illuminating pathways to a more sustainable and enriching way of living. In this intricate dance between wealth and visibility, a new narrative begins to unfold that emphasizes values over vanity. As individuals break free from the expectations of materialism, they weave stories of resilience and purpose into the fabric of their lives. This contrast serves as a beacon for those lost in the chase for approval, reminding them that the essence of true wealth lies in heartfelt experiences and unwavering connections. The ghosts of affluence appear, not as mere shadows, but as catalysts for change, inviting society to rethink its values. Through the lens of this transformation, a community emerges, united in the pursuit of authenticity, celebrating the quiet victories that often go unseen yet resonate profoundly. As this movement grows, it fosters a sense of belonging that transcends superficial markers of success, revealing the richness concealed within life's simplest moments. Ultimately, they craft a legacy rich in meaning, profoundly impacting their surroundings and fostering a renewed collective spirit. In the ever-evolving narrative of wealth, the pendulum swings toward the allure of transparency versus the safety of obscurity. As the rich grow aware of the societal pressures cradling them, we witness a gradual awakening to a simpler truth: being unseen can be an asset. With intention, they choose to share their lives lightly, invoking authenticity in their ties and experiences. Conversations shift from bragging rights over luxuries to genuine talks about aspirations and dreams. The newly emerging rich connect more with the essence of being, reveling in friendships free from the burden of appearances, forging deeper relationships built on shared journeys rather than impressive facades. Meaningful encounters blossom as they gather around bonfires instead of benefiting from extravagant parties, laughing and sharing stories that deepen their bonds. As they redefine what it means to thrive, an empowered community forms, one that embraces silence as a canvas for creativity and collaboration, showcasing the beauty in not striving to outshine one another but illuminating each other's paths instead. The common thread weaving these lives together is a heartfelt commitment to living richly, but quietly, cultivating joy amid the chaos around them. They illustrate how wealth can serve as both shield and sanctuary, reminding us that the most profound impacts come from authenticity and connection, rather than from public display. This paradigm shift not only enriches their lives but also lays down a foundation for future generations, awakening a dialogue about what wealth truly means in this age of excess. The ghosts of affluence stand resilient, guardians of a wisdom that echoes through time. The silent echoes of clandestine gatherings reverberated with laughter, storytelling, and shared dreams, moments that stitched the fabric of their familial bonds. As whispers of their presence became fodder for those who longed for deeper connections, they thrived in obscurity, cultivating an environment where authenticity reigned supreme. Here, wealth was not an outward display, but a thread that quietly wove through the essence of their lives, nourishing not only their own spirits but also inspiring those in their orbit. They became a living testament to the truth that happiness flourishes in simplicity, teaching others that richness springs from togetherness, not just what is captured in shimmering lights. In this era of relentless consumption, a gentle rebellion emerges, inviting individuals to reclaim their narratives from the clutches of material displays. Anonymity transforms into a badge of honor, a shield against the pressures of ostentation. Instead of competing for the brightest spotlight, families embrace the warmth of simplicity, forging connections grounded in sincerity. This movement echoes through community gatherings filled with laughter and shared experiences, amplifying the voices that champion meaningful relationships over grandiose possessions. As society begins to recognize the quiet beauty of a life lived authentically, it paves the way for future generations to inherit the wisdom of balance between visibility and wealth, nurturing a legacy rooted in love, connection, and the grace of being unseen. In this evolving landscape, stories of quiet wealth ripple through communities, transforming perceptions and encouraging individuals to seek fulfillment beyond mere appearances. Each time a gathering unfolds, the authentic connections remind all present that real abundance thrives in the subtleties of human experiences, fostering a profound sense of belonging that resonates deeply within. As they choose moments of warmth over ostentation, families set the stage to redefine success, illustrating that true value lies not in public accolades but in the richness of their shared journeys. This journey toward invisibility becomes a collective endeavor, inviting others to join in crafting a narrative rich with meaning, resilience, and the beauty of living quietly fulfilled. In this newfound ethos, the whispers of wealth, once confined to shadows, now illuminate pathways to a more authentic existence, enriching lives in ways that surpass what wealth can visually convey. Ultimately, their legacy becomes a tapestry woven from love, laughter, and the enduring power of genuine connection, encouraging future generations to carry forth these timeless truths. The allure of wealth may entice many to display their affluence, yet a profound truth lingers: true prosperity thrives in secrecy. Embracing this philosophy allows individuals to cultivate lives steeped in authenticity, where the bonds fostered in quiet moments become more valuable than any glittering possession. In pursuing a life defined by genuine connections, they discover a deeper sense of joy, echoing the sentiment that lasting richness is found not in extravagance, but in the simplicity of heartfelt experiences shared among loved ones. In this silent revolution, the quiet strength of wealth becomes a resounding call to redefine what it truly means to live a fulfilled life, unshackled from the chains of societal expectations. In this quiet revolution, they embody the essence of true wealth, inviting all to rethink prosperity not as a showcase of material possessions but as a testament to meaningful experiences. As they continue to inspire change, their legacy lives on, showing that lasting fulfillment lies in the gentle embrace of simplicity and connection. Thanks, and please subscribe for more lifestyle features.